Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me again with Breaking the Silence Together podcast. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jeannie Perez, and I am the founder of an organization called You Are Not Alone. And what the organization entails of, we support the mental health cause, we support the addiction cause, and the way that we support these illnesses is by providing free services, professional services from a therapist, a counselor, an advocate, down to tools and resources with ebooks, and an advocate just putting a plan and following the journey with the individual, whether it's helping them get the help that they need besides our organization or putting a plan together for them with our organization. And all the services are free, and if anyone is not familiar with our organization, you can check us out at www.youarenotalone.online. Please check it out, see if there's anything there that you can benefit from or someone else that you might know. With that being said, I'm going to shift a little bit our podcast, our share today. I know normally, which is still part of mental illness and it's still part of an addiction. It can go either way. But someone had brought an idea up to me, and they said, well, mental illness or an addiction both can really affect a relationship. And when I say relationship, it could be a relationship of two adults, or it could be a relationship of just a mother with a child, or a father with a child, or just individuals, period, with someone that they love. And today's topic is healing bitterness when resentment replaces loyalty. And the reason why I put it together like that, besides from the information that was brought to me, that was put together for me, because I feel as though a lot of us, we get bitter with certain things that happens between us or you as an individual with someone else, a loved one, a partner, a sibling, a child. When certain things start falling apart. And then resentment, because sometimes things aren't the way that we think that they are, or the way they're being pictured to us, and then we have all of our trust and our loyalty into the certain person, and then they just tear it down because either they're lying to us about something, or they took their trust from us because of something that they did, without us realizing that it wasn't always the way that we thought it was going to turn out to be. So that's why I said healing, you start healing, you start seeing things different. You start recovering, you start seeing things different. You start seeing things in a brighter way. Like a lot of things that maybe someone might have been able to get away with before when you were, in your emotions, when you were dealing with your mental illness or an addiction. But when your mind starts clearing up and you start getting clarity, you start seeing things more. Like you start paying attention more to stuff that's happening around you. You start paying attention more to other individuals that are in your life and every day, or just people around you. You're just more alert. So what I'm trying to say is, if it's something that resonates with you, like if, you feel as though you trusted someone and they broke that trust, or you just feel as though that yourself, you might have been involved in something with someone, a friend or someone, and you just really, really thought that this person wanted the best for you, and it turned out that it wasn't. It was something totally different than what you expected from that individual, or they just hid something from you. They might have hid a mental illness from you for a long time, or they might have hid an addiction from you a long time, and you feel as though that they broke your trust. This sharing today, this podcast is definitely for you to listen to. I'm going to be sharing a little bit of feedback that I got from someone else on a situation that they went through on something similar to this. And maybe someone out there is going to be able to resonate with it, and they're going to be able to look at things in a different way from what we're talking today. Maybe give you a little bit of light on something that you can do, or maybe these are red flags that you might be seeing in someone else, and it might be like, okay, this is what's going on, and you might want to approach this person and get down to the point of everything, so that maybe you can start healing healthy and grow above from this. Because like I said, this is something that we can all reset our mind and our bodies and our ways and our nervous system and our ways of actions of every day. We can reset all that. We just really have to come in tune with ourselves and really come into reality of what's going on with us. So on behalf of what we're talking today, the person that brought this to my attention, they wanted me to share it because they shared it with me, a situation that they went through. And, I said, can I share this, on my show, on my podcast? So I really think that this is something that's going to hit home with a lot of people. And she said, sure. I don't have nothing to hide. If it's going to help somebody, it helped me when I realized what's going on. Maybe someone will catch the red flags and maybe not so late like I did, maybe sooner because they're hearing about it when you're talking about it. So what this individual had told me was that she was in a relationship for a lot of years, about 6 years. That's a lot to me, 6 years. And she felt like in the beginning everything was good, everything was okay. And then like 3 years down, she just started seeing a difference in her partner. And she just said she always thought that maybe was that her partner was being overworked, or maybe her partner was always a worrier, so she thought it was just that. Maybe it was just being over-worried about everything, overwhelmed with work. So she just kept brushing it off, the actions and red flags that she started seeing with him. Like, he was telling her he was going to go do one thing, but he wasn't. He would go do another thing, lashing out about any little thing. She couldn't really talk to him so much as she used to before because there was always a fight about everything. So she said that she wanted to go talk to, she had a good relationship with his mom, so she wanted to go talk to his mom about the situation. His mom never said nothing. Oh, maybe it's just work, or, we all have our bad days and we have our good days, so she brushed it off. But, and then she said she just couldn't take it no more, so she spoke to her partner and said, look, what's going on? Everything is so different, like you're lashing out about everything. It's like I'm walking on eggshells trying to figure you out. Your actions are different, you're not as involved as before with different things that we were doing. Work is even different for you. What's going on? So she said at first, nothing, you're making a big thing out of nothing, so they left it at that. She just kept on and kept on. And then eventually she caught up with her friend, and the friend started, she's talking to her friend or whatever, and then eventually the friend told her that, did she not know that her, fiance at that time was her fiance, did she not know that her fiance has always dealt with mental illness and addictions all through his teenage life? She said, his mom, no one didn't tell you that? And she said, no. She said, you're the first one that's brought that up to me, that he even had any kind of mental illness, or that he had any kind of addictions growing up in high school and stuff. And he said, yeah, he had a really big problem with self-medicating himself and a lot of situations that was going on in his childhood. And she said, oh my God. So she said, now I feel bad because the way I was acting towards him, because the way he was acting. And then she said, she was making herself feel bad so much that she started feeling sick because she was scared to ask him questions. She was scared to bring it up because of what his friend had told her. She just started, it started getting even worse for her because she started feeling like she had to isolate herself because her partner wasn't being honest of who he really was. And he just put all this on her without giving her the heads up, like, look, I deal with mental illness, and I deal with also with, addictions that I triggers that I go in and out of life with. Because she said if he would have told me, I would have just worked it through with him and would have got him help. Because that's definitely what he needed. He needed some type of help, not just him trying to deal with it on his own. So she said she spoke to his mom because she was scared to confront him about it. So she went and talked to his mom about what his friend had said, and his mom said, "Well, that's the past. He's not like that anymore. That's the past, and we're not going to bring it up, and we're not going to bother him with it. It's the past, and I want you to leave it in the past." So she said she thought that his mom was being selfish, telling her that. The reply that she gave her was like, "Oh, leave it in the past. Don't bring it up to him. Just you to work it out one way or another." And she said that just really messed her relationship going forward because she wasn't ready for what was brought on to her. Like, she came into this relationship blindsided, because she didn't see this in the beginning, and when she started seeing the changes, she was questioning him, but he wouldn't tell her the truth. So she said it kind of almost put her into a depression and anxiety because she was dealing with someone that she didn't know anymore. Like, she didn't know this new person that appeared 3 years later in her life, So the reason why I'm saying this is because I know a lot of us go through life, living life for others. We're brought into sometimes into relationships without knowing what our partner's life really was in the past or the childhood, and we're lied to years after years, and we're just dealing with these emotions or these actions or just feeling unsafe because your partner doesn't want to be loyal and be honest with you on the situation, on what they're going through, so that you can all get help because now it's affecting you also. And I just say if someone's out there listening and they feel as though life is not the way they thought it was going to be once they got into a relationship, if they're not getting the answers that they want from their partner, but they're seeing a bunch of red flags, and they feel as though deep inside they know that their partner needs help, I say that, you support them. I'm not saying you have to stay with them, but I'm saying support them because remember, you can always love and support a person from the far. And sometimes that's what you have to do, get out of the situation so it doesn't affect you. But at the same time, make sure that your loved one gets the help that they need and the support that they need so they can be healthy. And if it has affected you already where you're going through some emotions, mentally, physically, then yes, you need to, step up, show up for yourself and get yourself help, and also see if your loved one would also get help also so that you can just get help together and become healthy together. Because I know that when trust is broken, when stuff is brought upon us, it surprises us, and we're already in that life, with this individual, with this partner or this loved one. It's not like you're going to abandon them and just walk away. You got to figure it out. And sometimes I think that's just, a little hard on some people to have to almost put their life on hold so they can figure out this new life so that it doesn't affect them or so that their loved one can get help. And I get it. And I know it's really hard out there for certain people to be able to wrap their head around this person that just all of a sudden started showing up. And it's shaky because you don't know who this person is anymore. You don't know how to help this person, But what you need to do is you really just need to talk to them and let them know, look, I know something is not right and we need to get help about it. Maybe it's family counseling, maybe it's relationship counseling, but it's some type of help that you would need to get together so that you can overcome this and not let any damage, really anything damage what you have. Because that's what happens. A lot of us, we just give into these feelings and we give into these changes, and we start getting bitter and we just start hating the person for lying to us. We start acting different. We start growing apart from each other. Gaps start coming in, where we don't feel comfortable around each other anymore. And then next thing you know, the damage is done, and we're going our separate ways, without anyone getting help. And that's what I'm trying to, hopefully, with this podcast today and this share today, is letting people know is, I know it's a terrible feeling when you feel as though someone lied to you, or, you feel as though you have to live life in a different way just to make sure someone else is okay. And I get it. But at the end of the day, that is your loved one. That is someone that's in your life, a part of your life. And I'm not telling you that you need to put your life on hold. That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is, regardless of what your decision is, whether you no longer want to be with this individual, or you feel as though you want to take time to yourself to realize what's going on, it's fair. We all need to pause and realize what's best for us. But what I'm saying, at the same time, just try to talk to your loved one and see if they will get help for themselves. And let them know what you're planning to do. Let them know what you want to do. And let them know it's not because I just want to leave you and say whatever and walk away with you and let you deal with this on your own. But the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I don't want us to be damaged. I don't want our relationship, our love, our trust to fall apart. So I think this is what we need to do now, so that we can get stronger and maybe see what tomorrow brings us once we start healing in a healthy way. But you definitely need to talk it out on the red flags that you're seeing. You need to talk it out on what you're feeling. You need to talk about on what you think is best for the relationship so it doesn't fall apart. And if your partner doesn't want to do anything to help themselves to better the relationship or even save the relationship, then that's a decision that you need to make. But there is, like I said, no one needs to stay stuck and live for someone else. None of us deserve that. We all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to go on with our life and be really happy with ourselves and be healthy. So if your loved one does not want to get help, does not want to be healthy, does not want to save the relationship, then it's time for you to make your decision. It's time for you to show up for yourself. And maybe you do need to get help now just so you can put yourself back in place. Then do that, But just make sure that whatever your decision is, it's a concrete decision. It's something that's going to help you, not something that you're still going to be guessing or trying to figure out. Make sure you have all that in place when you're ready to talk to your loved one, so that you can let your loved one know exactly what you think they need, what you think y'all both need as a couple, and what the consequences are if they don't want to get help. You let them know on what your plans are. Just be very honest with yourself and your loved one, so that no one's guessing and no one thinks that, this lie is going to continue. It's really important that we come in tune with ourselves and we love ourselves and we question ourselves. Like, what is it that we want out of life? Even with a relationship, like, what is it that I want out of this relationship? This is what's going on right now in this relationship. Is it worth it? What am I doing here? What am I supposed to do? You need to talk to yourself on those questions, and you need to answer them honest. And when you come out with your honest answers, you need to really act on them. Because those answers that you just asked yourself, you got them out of yourself, those are real answers. And you need to act on them and get what you need to do so that you can stay healthy and your loved one can become healthy. Just talk it out. Like I always tell everyone, please, just talk. Don't stay in silence about anything. If you feel something is not right, talk it out. If you see red flags, question them. Don't brush them off thinking tomorrow might be a better day. Just question them. For those of you that know me, follow me, or listening to me, or came across in contact with me in an event or in one of the places that I've been at, know me, know that I support the mental illness 200%, full force. Same thing with an addiction, I'm full force on the cause. It's really, really heartbreaking on how we're losing these lovely souls, by the second. By the second, someone is being diagnosed with a new depression, a new mental illness, not depression, a mental illness. Because there's so many different mental illnesses. By the second, we're losing. We're gaining another person, but we're also losing another one by the second. And the same thing with an addiction. By the second, we're losing them to their addiction. And then the next second, we're having another one that's being addicted to something else. So the numbers are going up, whether it's gaining and losing. It's a fight. It's a battle. And it's happening worldwide. Like, I can't even pick out a certain spot in the map and say, okay, well, the numbers are the biggest here. Because they're enormous everywhere. Everywhere you look in the map, you pull the information. The numbers are all very large. I can't say that there's one place that is better off than the other. They're all, the whole world, the numbers are really bad. Really bad. And that's why I always say, if you know me or you know my organization, you know that regardless on how big my team is, because we have our services available worldwide, our tools and resources are available worldwide, we never have enough. We never will have enough. And that's why I'm saying, if you're out there and you want to volunteer, your heart is in it, you're supporting the mental illness, you're supporting addiction 200%, reach out to us. Like, let's make this happen. Like, I can sit here until I turn blue and tell you that it's needed so bad. The help is needed so bad worldwide. And no matter where you're sitting at in the map, you'll be able to help us. Because you can log on from anywhere worldwide and help one of my clients, or just help us in individual. Help us to make this movement stronger. Bring good new ideas to us. We'll make it happen. Or if you think your community can benefit from our organization, or our tools, our resources, our services, let us know. We'll send you resources. We'll have an event where you're at. Whatever it takes, let's make it happen. Reach out to me. And again, for any of those that don't know, the website is www.you'renotalone.online. Please go on there, check us out, see what you can use on us, see what you can benefit from, or someone else can benefit from, and share it over to them. Send them our link, send them our podcast, or just Google us. There's so much stuff, so much resources on Google that you can just forward, but get this information out. We just can't stay stuck. We just can't think that someone's going to find us, because that's not the way it is. We really have to put it out there. Just continue to share this information so these beautiful souls know that there is support out there. There is help out there. And it doesn't matter. You can always reset yourself. You can always heal your mind, body, and soul. Same thing with recovery. You can recover mind, body, and soul. It's never too late, and it's never too early. Just show up for yourself and make the first step. And that is being honest with yourself and getting the help that you need. I really wish that everybody just would understand that mental illness and addiction is invisible. It really is. It's invisible. It's invisible to us, looking from the outside in, and it's invisible to them, the individuals that are dealing with the mental illness or an addiction. It's invisible to them from the inside out, because they feel as though no one's coming to help them, no one's coming to save them, no one cares. And then us, the ones that are trying to help, we don't know who's suffering from it because they hide it so good. We don't know who's suffering with a mental illness. And we don't know a lot of times who's dealing with an addiction because they can hide it so well. Some of them will be, when they're alone, are all broken down. They're all broken apart. And then when they're around others, they're up, they're upbeat, they're smiling, they're laughing, they're being proactive. Same way with an addiction. Somebody with an addiction can have a high-scale job, go to work every day and come home and be going on an addiction. That's just how life is. We never know who's who. And we never know what anyone's dealing with. And that's why I'm saying, if just share the information, regardless if you think that person is okay or you think that person would never need it. Just share the information with everyone that you know. Because you never know who you're going to save. You never know. And you might never know. And that's the game with this. It's like a mouse game. Like you're trying to figure out things and trying to catch things before something falls. But unless we all just trying our best, and all it really takes is someone caring. Because that's really all it is. At the end of the day, someone caring enough to just push information through. And hopefully the right person will see it, will read it, will get it, will hear it. And that would be a win for us, knowing that we were able to help someone. Just one person is a win. Because that's one less person that we pray we will never lose to the mental illness or an addiction. Because I know even though sometimes we get healed, we get healed from our mental illness, we get healed from an addiction. But life sometimes there's triggers and things happen. But we pray that, we can help and save as many souls as we can. And the only way that we can start out doing that on our end is just pushing out this information as much as we can worldwide. And just start out with the people that you know. Push it along. Just send stuff towards them. Email them the link from the website, past the podcast, the social media information. Or just information in general. Just talk to them about certain things and just push stuff their way. You just never know. So with that being said, I'm just going to say my favorite statement, because it's a statement that I really live by, and I push to everyone that I know. I push to my clients, friends, loved ones, and if you would know me, you would ask them, they'll tell you yes. She really lives by that statement, and it's okay to not be okay. And I really mean it, and I want you to really, really say that to yourself and live it. It's okay to not be okay. What's not okay, and that's not for yourself, your loved ones, anyone, to ever think that they have to struggle in the dark, in silence, ever again. We are here. There are people out there, people in your circle, people sitting right next to you right now that will help you on your journey and meet you where you're at. Just open up. Show up for yourself, love yourself, and make that first step and go and get the help that you need. Until next time, please take care of yourself and your loved ones.